Your introduction, you talk about, in a world of fractured certainties, battered economies, and robotic invasion, you have to be clear as crystal about your own mandate and what matters to you most. Be brave enough to confront yourself with these uncomfortable questions, and I'll rattle them off, right? Is what I'm doing really my greatest calling in life? Am I tired, bored, and uncomfortable with what I do? Am I living life or just paying bills? Is there a soul deep purpose or dreams buried deep within me longing for an escape? Is there a bolder, braver, smarter way I need to take to fulfill my purpose? Or am I stuck, or am I pushing my own limits? When I read that, you know, I kind of wanted to, I don't know, cry. I'm a big boy, but I was like, man, like I had to reevaluate like who I was, right? What does it mean for you? Like when you wrote that, like what were you thinking?
In my mind, it took me back to my own journey, right? Where I was in an environment where I cannot really say I absolutely love what I was doing. I was doing it because this is what everyone does. This is what you're told to do. Go to school, get a certificate, get a job. But deep within, I was not really fulfilled or satisfied. So when the whole idea to put the book down, I thought these are some of the questions within me that I used to ask myself, and I had no courage to do anything about it. I felt like I was trapped in my own life. And somehow the retrenchment that happened, even though I cried because I was wondering how am I going to take care of my kids. But when it happened, I felt like this was some sort of liberation in some way. I felt liberated in some way. And so I wanted for people to also think within themselves, like what you are doing, is this really what you want to do? Are you really fulfilled in this? And if I could go further now with the whole tech and how it's disrupting, I would even add more questions in it, like the industry in which you are, how relevant is it going to be in the next 3 to 5 years, right? Or the position in which you're currently occupying at work, can you be easily replaced by a machine? Can a machine do what you're doing? So those are some of the questions that I would even dive much more deeper into that. And for those that are students, ask yourself, the certificates I'm currently pursuing, when I graduate in 4 years' time, would it still be relevant for the market? You know, because people are just doing things without really asking themselves questions, without really thinking. I recently had a conversation with someone. He said, my mom said I should study accounting. Like, what is the future of accounting? To me, for us, to be honest, there are softwares right now that can do accounting way better than any human accountant can. And as a parent, you're pushing your child to go do accounting because in your days, accountants were the thing, right? My son recently told me a story. He went to school one day, came back, he told me, he asked me a question. I wasn't sure where he was going with the conversation. He asked me, are lawyers very important people in society? I'm like, yeah, kind of. He asked me, judges, people who judge in court, they're very important people in society. I'm like, yeah. He asked me another one again, was what? What was it? Do you still remember? There were like 3 questions he asked me: lawyers, judges, and engineers. So I asked him, okay, why are you asking me this? He said, because all the kids in his class want to be either lawyers, doctors, engineers, or judges. And for him, when the teacher asked him what he wants to be, he said he wants to be an animator. Am I right? And then everyone looked at him like... So he kind of felt like the real thing is being a lawyer, is being all of these things. So he had to come and ask me. And the reason he had not discovered up to that point that lawyers and accountants and engineers and these people are not the thing, because we've never had that conversation in the house. I've never pointed out to them that this is the real thing. I want them to become their own person. Let them discover it for themselves, you know. If it's that I've been pushing him towards fancy titles, he would not have been shocked to that point where everyone wants to become a lawyer, everyone wants to become a judge. So these are some of the questions that I would have dived in the ancient time in which we're living. Are we just studying for certificate's sake, or are we questioning, you know, these things? Is this your purpose? Is this what you want to do? Are you happy with what you're doing? Is there a voice within you that you're pushing down, like, stay quiet?